My name is Irene Feiman, and I'm a child survivor from Holland. I was born to a Hungarian father and an English mother, into a warm and loving family. That is until September 1942, when the Dutch Nazis broke into our home and gave us 10 minutes to pack a suitcase as we were going to be taken away. We were taken to a place called Westerbork, which was a transit camp on the German-Dutch border, where Jews were transported to other camps. Luckily for me, my mother put as many warm clothes as she could on me, which was a good thing, as when we eventually got to Germany, there was no uniform for me being too small. One of the worst things I remember of Westerbork, apart from the barracks, were the trains that came every single Tuesday morning, and 1,000 Jews were pushed into them. They were not ordinary trains, they were cattle trucks. People were told that if they worked hard, all would be well. On the front of the train, there was a sign in big letters that said, Auschwitz. We didn't know what that meant. One strange thing, though, despite the assurances of the commandant of the camp, that if it was supposed to be a work team, why did they have so many old people? Women, pregnant women, children, disabled people, they weren't able to work. Today we know what it meant, that this was a journey into the unknown. Everyone at Westerbork worked, but for the younger children, there was a group of young German Jewish boys who were there because the camp was made for German refugees. And they taught us about a wonderful place called Palestine. And we also learned songs in Hebrew and Yiddish. Today, 76 years later, I've never forgotten even one of those songs that I learned then. Yes, it was cold in Westerbork, and yes, we were hungry, but we were able to get parcels, and nobody starved. That was still to come. On the 2nd or 3rd of February 1944, my father and 3 of his brothers were sent to Buchenwald, from where tragically he did not return. A day or so later, my mother, brother, and myself were sent to Germany, but not in cattle trucks. We went to the largest women's concentration camp in Germany called Ravensbrück. There were people from 23 different nationalities there, and although there was no gas chamber at the time, only the last 6 months before the war ended, people died of typhus, malnutrition, and dysentery, and literally being worked to death. I will never forget the time we arrived there. It was night. There was a huge brick wall with an electric fence all around. There were watchtowers with armed soldiers and guns, and there were searchlights. We went into a barrack where everybody undressed and were given a cotton dress. It was grey with navy blue stripes and a little jacket, no jersey, and wooden clogs. I was lucky that I was able to keep my little coat that I had worn for a year and a half in Holland, and so I did not feel the cold as much as the others. To this day, I don't feel the cold that much. I suppose I was lucky. I forgot to mention that upon arrival, people were given, as I said, their camp uniforms, but there were bowls on every table, and people had to take off their wedding rings or jewelry or whatever they had and put it into the basin. I'm sure this went towards the German, towards them. I know my mother was quite upset to have to relinquish her own wedding ring. When we actually entered the barrack, there was a ghastly sight, which caused me many, many nightmares. There were 3 tiered bunks with 3 or 4 women per bunk. They were emaciated. They had sunken cheeks. They had bulging eyes and shaven heads. Some of them tried to touch my hair and my face. It was horrendous. And I just screamed and screamed. What was even worse was the smell of unwashed human bodies, of urine and feces, and above all, of fear. We were given a bowl and a cup and a spoon, and we had to queue for some foul-smelling food. I refused to eat it, but somebody said to my mother, "Let your daughter eat this food. She's not going to get anything else. There's no pantry or larder or fridge where she can get food." I promise you the next morning I ate the meager ration, which was 1 slice of bread and a thimbleful of margarine and some jam. We were also given some brown hot water, which I think was made from acorns. It was supposed to be coffee. There was never, ever lunch. And on this so-called breakfast, women had to work a whole day with no lunch. February in Germany is very, very cold. It can be 20 below, and they were just wearing these cotton outfits. Afterwards, we were given a kind of a horrible stew. In German, it's called Gemüse. I don't know what it is in English, but it was revolting. And then the following morning, we were woken at 5 o'clock in the morning for roll call. It was called appel. Everybody had to stand, and they counted you. If the tally was not right, you could stand there for hours and hours in the cold. But there were warmly clad women guards there, with whips and with dogs. Vicious dogs, trained to attack. My mother, I'll have to demonstrate, my mother didn't want me to see all the horrible things, so she took her hands and she put them over my eyes, and she put her thumbs in my ears, so I would not see and not hear the screams and what happened to some of the poor souls who were being beaten. She would recite poetry to try and take people's mind of what was going on. Even if they didn't understand her English, it didn't matter. She recited poetry. She had a great love of literature, and it made a difference as long for people didn't see what was happening and didn't have to think about it. I was also not allowed to look at the flames that came out of the burning crematorium. Whilst I did not know what was being burnt, I can still remember the terrible stench. Early one morning, while at appel, the commandant of the camp called out, "What is that Aryan child doing there among all the Jews?" pointing at me. I was pushed forward, and I had to stand before him while he measured my forehead, my nose, my eyes, my mouth, God knows. I was just measured all over. And he kept saying, "This is not a Jewish child, not with blue eyes and blonde hair." Then he suddenly pulled my hair back, and he said, "Of course she's a Jew. She has Jew ears." What are Jew ears? I don't know. I was very humiliated, and I've never forgotten it. One day we were told there was going to be a treat for the children. This was most unusual. We couldn't wait to see what it would be. One of the block leaders came out with a small tray, and there was something green on it, cut into little squares. We were each allowed to take one little square. I remember it was absolutely delicious. Delicious. years and years later, I was already married with children and living here in South Africa. Somebody who we knew from the camp, also a Dutch woman, born in Holland with a Hungarian father, came to South Africa to visit us. And of course, we were talking about the camp and the war. And then I said to her, do you remember those wonderful green sweets that we had? And she looked at me in horror. She said, what? That was rotten, moldy cheese. That was our treat. It was their sense of humor. We didn't know. We ate it. We enjoyed it. Okay. There's much more I could say, but I'm restricted by time. But I would like to end on something I very much believe in. Never forgive and never forget what was done, because hate is like a cancer and it destroys you. But you cannot hate a whole nation. I believe we are all God's children, every one of us. No matter what our religion, what our color, nothing. And if we could all learn to be tolerant of one another and accept one another, I think this world would be a far better place. Thank you.
Thank you so much.